A warm welcome to you. Hello, Akanksha, how are you? So, our today's session is on divisional charts. Ram Ram. Our today's session is on divisional charts. Any questions? Hello, Vaibhav. जॉब चेंज की टाइमिंग कैसे देखते हैं? दैट्स गुड वन, गुड क्वेश्चन. सो विल स्टार्ट विद सेइंग थैंक यू फॉर टू ऑल ऑफ यू फॉर कमिंग हियर टुडे. और जॉब चेंज हम देखते हैं जो D10 में देखना होता है. मैंने एक वीडियो भी डाला था कि फिफ्थ हाउस जो होता है हमारा वो चेंज बताता है, सडन चेंजेस बताता है, क्योंकि वो 10th हाउस से 8th हाउस होता है. फिफ्थ हाउस 8th हाउस वो बताता है चेंज. आपका थर्ड हाउस चेंज बताता है. तो इन भावों के स्वामी के साथ यदि 10th हाउस का कोई कनेक्शन होता है और दशा अंतरदशा और साथ में ट्रांजिट भी लगता है, तो देन देयर इज अ जॉब चेंज का टाइमिंग दिखाई देता है. How to see big change in career, money wise or position wise? See, big change in career, I've said how to see. Big change in career will have to be seen from the 11th house. A leap will have to be seen from the 11th house, because 11th house is the house of growth. और मनी वाइज के लिए आपको D2 देखना पड़ेगा कि उस समय आपकी D2 की कुंडली में क्या वो पैसा दिखा रहा है, क्या वो 11th दिखा रहा है कि पैसा है. क्योंकि D2 और D1 का एक कनेक्ट, D10 का कनेक्शन है. हम जनरली सोचते हैं कि यदि हमारा काम बढ़ता है तो पैसा बढ़ता है. वैसा कनेक्शन नहीं है. आपको यदि पैसे के हिसाब से देखना है तो आपको D2 देखना पड़ेगा, और यदि आपको करियर में देखना है तो आपको D10 देखना पड़ेगा. फिफ्थ हाउस में मेष शुक्र नीच होगा तो आपका आपके चेंज में प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगे, तब आपको देखना पड़ेगा. वर्गोत्तम लग्न कुंडली की शक्ति कैसे बढ़ता है? वर्गोत्तम लग्न की कुंडली की शक्ति बढ़ती है जैसे जैसे व्यक्ति बढ़ता जाता है. यहाँ मैं बता दूं आपको कि हर डिविजनल चार्ट में वर्गोत्तम लग्न आ सकता है. D2 में भी यदि मेरा लग्न शनि का लग्न केप्रिकॉन है और D2 में भी मेरा वो केप्रिकॉन लग्न ही है, तो D2 के अनुजाई वो वर्गोत्तम है. आपका कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि D9 में वर्गोत्तम है लग्न तो D2 में भी होगा या D10 में भी होगा. ऐसी ऐसी बात नहीं है. लेकिन यदि वर्गोत्तम आप D9 के अनुसार बोल रहे हैं तो उसकी शक्ति अपने आप ही बढ़ती है, और उसके प्लैनेट्स से हमें मालूम पड़ता है. कुंडली तो बहुत स्ट्रांग है, लेकिन हमें रिजल्ट्स कौन देते हैं? दशा अनुसार प्लैनेट्स देखते हैं. तो वो दशा के अनुसार वो प्लैनेट कहाँ बैठा है, इसको ध्रुव नाड़ी का एक प्रिंसिपल है, उससे हमको देखना पड़ता है कि भाई राशि तुल्य नवांश कैसा है. उस हिसाब से मालूम पड़ता है कि वर्गोत्तम लग्न की कुंडली में शक्ति जो है वो सही ढंग से काम कर रही है या नहीं, क्योंकि प्लैनेट्स अपनी शक्ति के अनुसार काम करते हैं. Okay, so Sharmi ji, it's your question is regarding Sadesati and Dhaiya. Would we see the effect from the Lagna or the Moon Kundli? It's very often asked questions. It's a question that has been answered by Gopesh Kumar Roja ji in his books, and especially in Vedic astrology related to the Hindus. It's a very beautiful book in which he has said कि what you feel, साड़ी सती हो या ढैया हो, वो जब मून के ऊपर से गुजर रहा है, जब मून से रिलेटेड है, तो वो आपके दिमाग में प्रेशर क्रिएट करता है, और जब वो लग्न से देखते हैं तो एक्चुअलिटी में हो रहा है, दूसरों को जो दिखता है वो इन एक्चुअलिटी में हो रहा है। ओके, कैन महादशा ऑफ अ प्लैनेट इन द 6th हाउस गिव नेम एंड फेम? इट विल डिपेंड ऑन वेयर इट इज प्लेस्ड। क्या वो महादशा इतनी, यदि आपकी वीनस की महादशा आ रही है और वीनस आपके 6th हाउस में डेबिलिटेटेड है, ठीक है, लेकिन दशा तुल्य नवांश सॉरी राशि तुल्य नवांश में वीनस बहुत अच्छी जगह बैठा हुआ है, एक। दूसरा, वीनस यदि 6th हाउस में डेबिलिटेटेड है, मेष लग्न की कुंडली है, 2nd एंड 7th लॉर्ड है, तो वो विपरीत राजयोग देता है। वो आपको नेम एंड फेम दे सकता है, लेकिन बाद में देगा, उसके लिए आपको थोड़ा सा खटना पड़ेगा, या विपरीत स्थितियां आएंगी उसके बाद ही वो नेम एंड फेम देगा। धनु लग्न की कुंडली में शनि लग्न में कैसा फल देता है? धनु लग्न, यहाँ पर हम लोग डिविजनल चार्ट्स के टेक्निकलिटीज पे बात कर रहे हैं। यदि किसी के पास डिविजनल चार्ट्स की टेक्निकलिटीज है तो जरूर पूछिए। केतु राजयोग, आई एम सॉरी टू से, बट केतु विल गिव यू इनफ टू सस्टेन, चाहे वो राजयोग का भी क्यों ना हो, बट नॉट विल नॉट मेक यू वेरी वेल्दी। हाउ टू सी बिग रियल एस्टेट्स इन D4 चार्ट? हाँ, D4 चार्ट में यदि आपका 9th हाउस बहुत अच्छा है तो वो आपके लिए, दैट विल टेल यू दैट यू कैन परचेज प्रॉपर्टीज इजीली। And if it is by any chance connected with the 4th house, if the dasha of the planet, in when we do divisional charts, a lot of things are important to understand. और यदि उस समय आपके कोई भी अच्छा प्लैनेट, स्पेशली अपने स्वग्रही हो, उच्च का हो, वो 9th हाउस या 4th हाउस से रिलेटेड है, उसकी दशा अंतर या प्रत्यंतर चल रही है और ट्रांजिट अच्छा है, तो आप खरीद सकते हैं प्रॉपर्टी, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा। Do we take planetary aspects in divisional charts? Yes, we do. I do not know what people say, but my experience over 20 years is that it gives me good results. And in that, I will also tell you कि मैं तो नक्षत्र भी देखती हूँ डिविजनल चार्ट्स में, और वो बहुत अच्छे रिजल्ट्स देते हैं मुझे इनफैक्ट एक्यूरेट रिजल्ट्स मिलते हैं, इसलिए आई टेक अप वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग I take up very strongly nakshatras and I also take up Amsha rulers. यदि आप D2 की बात कर रहे हैं तो D2 में पितरीज और देवताज है, तो मुझे मालूम है कि नॉट ओनली फॉर रेमिडियल मेजर्स, मुझे ये भी मालूम है कि पितरीज के लिए मुझे बहुत सारी चीजें आसानी से उपलब्ध हो जाएंगी, और मुझे ये भी मालूम है कि देवता अंश में जो ग्रह बैठा हुआ है उसके लिए मुझे बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, या कम से कम यदि वो उच्च का भी है तो मुझे थोड़ी बहुत तो मेहनत करनी ही पड़ेगी। तो इस तरह से हमें मालूम पड़ता है कि इस किस तरह से हम पितरीज का या मतलब किसी भी अंश रूलर्स का यूज कर सकते हैं। ओके, we do take, as I told you, we do take aspects. I would टेक्निकल क्वेश्चंस जरूर पूछिए। हाँ, that's a good one. First house D1 Mars in Cancer, D9 Mars in Capricorn. This is a good result क्योंकि ये मार्स लगता है कि एग्जाम आपको वो नहीं देगा, रिजल्ट्स नहीं देगा D1 देखने से, लेकिन राशि तुल्य नवांश में यदि आप देखते हैं तो वहां पर मार्स एग्जॉल्टेड है 7th हाउस में। ऐसा व्यक्ति जो चाहे वो काम कर सकता है, उसमें ये क्षमता है। हाँ, यदि एक्चुअली मेरा सैटर्न D1 में है, एक्वेरियस में है, बट डेबिलिटेटेड इन D10, तो इसका मतलब है कि आपको मेहनत और भी लग के करना है। यदि D10 में डेबिलिटेटेड है तो वो सैटर्न आपसे मेहनत मांग रहा है, आपको अपने काम के लिए बहुत मेहनत करना पड़ेगा। What does it imply? The 10th lord of the D1 is in the ascendant of D10. while the 10th lord of the D10 is the ascendant of D1. That's a very good combination because it helps you to connect, because it shows us direct connection between the D1 and the D10 charts. एंड वो व्यक्ति काम भी बहुत अच्छा करता है और बहुत अच्छे मुकाम पे भी पहुंचता है अपने काम के साथ. Any planet bad in Rashi and good in D10? Uh, any planet bad in no, Rashi is the first step. ठीक है, जब हम मैथ्स पढ़ते हैं, यदि मैथ्स में हमारा बेसिक्स ही खराब हो तो आगे चल के हमारे को बहुत ज्यादा अच्छे नंबर आने की chances नहीं होते until and unless the person has worked very hard for it. So if a planet is bad in the Rashi chart, the the promise is not good. But supposing it is good in the D10 chart, then in the profession he might have a good chance if he's working very hard for that planet, if he's really working very hard for that planet. But if the person is not working very hard, then it definitely in the profession also it will not give good marks, good results. D9 लग्न में राशि में शुक्र एंड राहु की युति क्या बताती है? राशि शुक्र और राहु की युति के बारे में मैंने एक वीडियो बनाया है. यदि D9 में यदि ऐसा लग्न पर आता है तो सबसे पहले अय्यर जी का एक प्रिंसिपल है. अय्यर जी का प्रिंसिपल ये बात बोलता है कि कारको भावनाशा, ठीक है, डिविजनल चार्ट्स पे. तो यदि D9 का जो कारक है वो आपका शुक्र हो गया, वो यदि लग्न पे बैठ गया तो वो प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करता है. अब यहाँ लग्न पे बैठकर वो राहु के साथ युति बना रहा है, ये बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करने में, मल्टीपल पार्टनर्स क्रिएट करने में सहायक होता है. तो मेरे अनुसार फिर मैं उस चार्ट को थोड़ा लाइट, मतलब उस दृष्टि से देखती हूँ. सन वीनस इन D1. शुक्ला जी कुंभ लग्न में, एक सेकेंड, P4 in ascendant and 10th house respectively, right? Right, what is the result? So the person can do a lot of work. When Mars and Saturn are exalted in the D4 in ascendant and the 10th house respectively, it means that it's a Capricorn लग्न की कुंडली बनकर आती है D10 D4 में. मार्स बैठा हुआ है, फोर्थ लॉर्ड भी एग्जॉल्टेड है और लग्न लॉर्ड, सेकेंड लॉर्ड भी एग्जॉल्टेड है. तो इसका यह मतलब हुआ कि यदि व्यक्ति व्यवसाय करना चाहता है, इफ द पर्सन वांट्स टू अर्न मनी थ्रू वर्किंग or with real estate, with houses, housing complexes, then he can earn good, he can do good in that profession and earn good money. ये सारी चीजें हम अपने डिविजनल चार्ट्स के कोर्स में सिखाते हैं. सैटर्न 6th हाउस में केसेस को लंबा खींच देता है. वो और वो उच्च का है, वो प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट करता है क्योंकि वो पावरफुल सैटर्न है. अकार वो यदि आप और केतु के साथ है तो यदि व्यक्ति सही है, उस केस उसके फेवर में आएगा, लेकिन उतना ही मिलेगा जितना कि उसके लिए पर्याप्त हो. और यदि वो व्यक्ति सही नहीं है तो सैटर्न केतु की युति उसको दूर कर देगी उस चीज से. हाउ टू फाइंड प्रोफेशन फ्रॉम द नवांश चार्ट? 10th लॉर्ड का 10th लॉर्ड D1 का 10th लॉर्ड जिस नवांश में जाके बैठता है उसके स्वामी के अनुसार भी वो व्यक्ति अपना प्रोफेशन कर सकता है. दैट इज व्हाट इज सेड इन उत्तर कलामृत एंड फल दीपिका. Karan Vaidya, when there are too many planets which are exalted in the Kundli, like in Ramchandra ji's, it doesn't make life very easy for the person because he has to uphold a lot of values. आज कलयुग में वो व्यक्ति बेचारा अपने रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के उसमें ही दब जाएगा, भार पे ही में ही दब जाएगा। Which I use Labmandu Khora Shantanu Bhattacharya for D2. Ma'am, how will we see specific subjects and courses for students at graduation level from? Yes. So Shubhra Sharma, this is something that I will be teaching, and very interestingly, I will be teaching D24 coming up pretty soon. You can get in touch with the website or the office, and this is where we will use Amsha rulers. Amsha rulers are a topic which are not very much used or not very much explored and in Jyotish, but it is a very beautiful topic, and depending on the houses that people go for, what they study and what level they can use, because every time when a student comes to us, he or she has a lot of expectation. So that is something that we see from various houses. For graduation level, it is the ninth house that we see, and then I go to the Amsha rulers. As I said, I take the Nakshatras in the divisional chart, and every planet will leave its own. It will have its own set of subjects. So again, it's an amalgamation of all these things which I teach in my classes. हाँ विश्वास जी, Vivaswat. Yes, Vivaswat ji. So yes, that's a very strong Lagna Lord and the fourth Lord you have, क्योंकि it's a debilitated and yet retrograde. So it has Cheshta Bal, and it's a exchange of the second and the fourth Lord. So which is supposed to be a Bhagya Yoga. Okay, so it will be giving you good results. Rahu in the birth chart in 12th house, international name and fame, but that also brings in with it a lot of problems. I often encounter a case of molestation when Rahu is in the 12th house. क्या कंबस्ट ग्रह अपने से पहले ग्रह का फल देते हैं? कंबस्ट ग्रह फल बिल्कुल नहीं देते, क्योंकि यदि राजा के सामने आप खड़े रहेंगे, कंबस्ट कब होता है कोई ग्रह? कंबस्ट तब होता है जब वो सूर्य के साथ होता है, सूर्य के बहुत समीप होता है। अब कोई भी राजा के सामने यदि खड़ा होता है, तो क्या उसकी कोई से है? वो कोई अपनी बात बोल सकता है? कोई भी अपनी बात नहीं बोल सकता। क्यों? क्योंकि राजा के सामने तो किसी की कोई चलती ही नहीं है। तो जब कोई भी ग्रह कंबस्ट होता है, तो वो अपना जो अपनी जो ताकत है, अपनी जो शक्ति है, वो खो देता है। अपने से पीछे छोड़ जहां बैठा है वहां का भी वो फल नहीं दे सकता। This for Saurav Pradhan, we need technical questions. You need to see the entire kundli, and you need to see the fact that how does the other planet like Mars and Saturn work in the kundli. Sri Lakshmi, I learned astrology starting from my uncle, and when I was very young, and then I learned it from ICAS, and I did my own research, a lot of own research. You should follow VP World sirs when you say what sutra he has said. That's important. Okay. Okay. 10th Lord placed in own sign in 10th Lord placed in own sign in D1 and placed in D10, 10th house of D10. What the status of the career should be good. Status of the any planet which is 10th Lord placed in its own sign in the D1. If it is not Sun, even if it is Sun, then it is Digbali, it is very strong. It is extremely strong. So such a person will have a great place. And even if it is any other planet, then also it is creating one of the Panch Mahapurushas, and it will give a very good status as per work in the D1. And when in addition it is placed in the 10th house of the D10, it gives excellent status in career. But please remember that every planet is also subject to a lot of conditions like aspect of other planets. It's very good, it's well placed. But what if it is having the fifth aspect of Rahu? Okay, or what if it is having an aspect of Mars or Saturn? Then you have to modify the results. And the dasha, antardasha, pratyantar, the transits all matter. I don't do bhav chalit. Samridh ji, I don't do bhav chalit. I haven't seen Sharma sir or Goyal sir do bhav chalit. So I do not know about bhav chalit. 10th house placed, okay. 7th and 5th house, exalted moon with Rahu. When a planet, there is a dictum from Uttar Kalamrit, which says that when Rahu is with a very strong planet, okay. So if you're talking about Capricorn ascendant, and then there is word, okay. So when we are talking about the fifth lord exchange with the seventh, that's a very beautiful Parivartana yoga. That's very good. And Rahu is acting like Venus. It is with the seventh lord. It's very good because during its period, Rahu will give great results. But as Rahu exits, the period of Rahu, be it dasha, antar, pratyantar, as it exists, you will see that as it comes out from, is about to come out, as it is about to exit its dashantar dasha, you will see that it will leave some poison, some part of it will go crazy. And as it is mentioned, another mention in the classics is when there is an exchange between the seventh and the fifth lords, or when the seventh lord is placed in the fifth house, everything goes hunky dory, very good. But after a certain time, after a first child is born, there are problems in the marriage. And that I have experienced, seen it in number of cases in my studies. What is Parashari Nakshatra Amsha system, like 10th house Amsha Lord and Dasha planet Amsha Lord and house? See, I do not know what you're meaning by Dasha planet, but I think, see, there are, when you talk about Amsha rulers, what are Amsha rulers? Let me tell you this. There are, when we are doing a study on the divisional charts, you will find chapters in BPHS. Specifically in BPHS, there are two chapters denoted exclusively to Amsha rulers, and there all the other classical texts, they have their say on the Amsha rulers in bits and pieces here and there, but Amsha rulers are mentioned everywhere. What are these Amsha rulers? Amsh means a part, an ang. Okay, so Amsh means an ang. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that every Rashi, when it's divided, say the D10, each Rashi is divided into 10 parts, and every part has a deity associated. Okay, starting from Indra, and then you come to Indra, Agni, Yama, like that you come, and you come back to Ishan, like that, the 10th lord. So like the 10 directions, the 10 Amsha rulers. Now how do you use them? So you have to know enough about these deities, and that is what I teach in my Nakshatra classes on deities. Been blessed by the deities to be able to understand and apply them in our classes. So in the divisional, in the D10 classes, what we do is we apply all these deities to understand the kind of profession one can take up, the kind of level one can reach in their profession, whether you can do work at a very high level or whether you should start work from a very low level and then you will prosper up. All these things can be seen with the help of Amsha rulers. Again, the planet is subject, even in my past life classes, or in my past life readings, I have been able to ascertain and have a, and then make a judgment ki this is what you do in this life also, without the person telling me, because it is only through the Amsha rulers and the Nakshatras and the planets combined that help us give that answer. वर्गोत्तम लग्न राजयोग जैसे फल देता है क्या? वर्गोत्तम लग्न राजयोग जैसे फल देता है, लेकिन उस पे ये भी मालूम करना पड़ेगा कि दशा किसके चल रही है. दशा किसकी चल रही है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि वर्गोत्तम लग्न के अनुसार यदि मेरी दशा अच्छे ग्रह की नहीं चल रही है तो वो फल नहीं दे सकता. Akanksha Verma, importance of D60 chart. The D60 chart is one chart that Parashar Rishi says that can tell you everything and should be can be read in exclusivity, which is very true. Because when you do the bul, when you look into the bul system or the points that Vimshopak bul system or the point of 20 and how much each chart gets, you will find that D60 gets a lot of merit, a lot of bulk or a lot of marks as compared to other charts. So D60, and that's the classic saying. So D60 has a lot of merit and importance. But the point is that the D60 changes maximum in 2 minutes. And I've seen that it can be changing in 31 seconds to 1.5 minutes. So how do you know that your chart is correct, that correct? If the chart is that correct, then definitely a person will get good marks, or the chart can be read in exclusivity. Shri Lakshmi, if the Venus and Mars are placed in the 12th house in D12, D9, that it means a very strong physical attraction of the couple, provided it is not in the house of Venus's debilitation, or Mars's and Mars is not in the Rakshashamsha. Otherwise, if Mars is in Rakshashamsha and Venus is in debilitation, then there can be a lot of sexual bullying or nuisance out there. D9 में शुक्र केतु युति कैसी होती है? नवम भाव में शुक्र उच्च है. नवम शुक्र केतु युति अच्छी नहीं होती है, क्योंकि शुक्र केतु युति व्यक्ति को D9 के अनुसार शुक्र केतु की जो युति है वो व्यक्ति को अपने और उच्च का है वो शुक्र, तो वो व्यक्ति को अध्यात्म की ओर ले जाता है 9th हाउस में. तो वो आपको बंधन में नहीं रखना चाहता, वो आपको बंधन से मुक्त करना चाहता है. How to do birth time rectification for D60? Will you come to me? I'll do that for you. जीत साइंस फैक्ट, D10 चार्ट में सूर्य की राशि है और इसमें शुक्र है. सावन, हाँ प्लीज बताएं मैम, मुझे समझ आएगा तो मैं जरूर बताऊंगी, क्योंकि मुझे ये समझ ही नहीं आ रहा आपका चार्ट. ओके, please don't spam anybody by writing it too many times. Lord Saturn good in D1 but debilitated in D10 in 8th house. I don't know how to answer this, so you should be able to guess. Ma'am, 12th house for Capricorn ascendant, what will Mars in 12th house? Go abroad. Best book for reading Navamsha chart? None other than Patel Saab's book. Leo Lagna Saturn in first house, and Saturn is exalted. A debilitated Venus in D9 and exalted in D60. As I said, you do not know whether the D60 is correct, but if the D60 is correct, then but D9 also holds sway, so it will give you mixed results. क्यों? बहुत सारी कुंडलियां हैं एनालिसिस करने के लिए. मेरी कुंडली को मैं एनालिसिस करके वीडियो क्यों बनाऊं? वृषभ लग्न में बुध का अस्त होना बाय नीच सूर्य. सूर्य नीच का भी होता है ना. शेर चाहे जितना भी बूढ़ा हो जाए घास नहीं खाता, तो वृषभ लग्न के लिए बुध का अस्त होना नीच सूर्य से भी वहां कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता है, वो सूर्य लोगों को कंपटीशन दे सकता है। लेकिन इससे ये भी मालूम पड़ता है कि वो व्यक्ति का फाइनेंसेस जो है, क्योंकि वो बुध जो वृषभ लग्न की कुंडली हुई, तो बुध सेकेंड एंड फिफ्थ लॉर्ड का, फिफ्थ हाउस का स्वामी होता है और वो प्लैनेट ऑफ वैल्यू हो जाता है। तो वो यदि अस्त है तो व्यक्ति को अपने फाइनेंसेस पे या तो कंट्रोल नहीं होता है, या वो अपने फाइनेंसेस पे कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकता, उसको फाइनेंस के बारे में ज्यादा समझ नहीं आती है, ये सारी चीजें उसके साथ हो सकती है। सिंह लग्न शुक्र केतु युति इन फिफ्थ हाउस, आई आंसर्ड दैट। शिवप्रिया जी प्लीज ये सब ये मत करिए, आप तब से है अभी। This is the same given birth time for studying divisional charts too. Might it change fast from D9 itself, so even appearances can... Acha, let wait, ma'am. Mainly everyone uses the same given birth time for, obviously the divisional charts have to be made for the same time. No, and it does not. It, what do you mean? What do you mean by it changes fast from D9 itself? See, 1 degree, for 1 degree to travel, for the lagna to travel 1 degree, the time taken is 4 minutes. D9 is 3 degree 20 minutes. So it's technically around 14 minutes that there is for every rashi in D9. Okay. Now, in within, if the time frame is same, that is within 14 minutes, if the time frame is good, is the same time frame that we are looking at, then the D9 will has to be correct. Okay, it has to be correct. Within 14 minutes, if things have not changed here and there, then up to D9 it is correct. If our parents say the time is correct, especially the mother, I will always say that it is correct. How, Dhruva Singhal ji, so do Dr. Gaurav Singhal please join our course on D10 coming up pretty soon to understand the entire chart, because understanding name and fame and timing, it's not going to be easy. We will teach you, and that is taught in detail in the course. No, Karan Vaid, no, as an astrologer, reading different. So you need to protect yourself. An astrologer goes with a lot of protection. आप यदि अपने पूजा पाठ नहीं कर रहे हैं, अपने प्रोटेक्शन से नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो आपके कर्म को असर कर सकता है। स्पेशली यदि आप रॉन्ग रेमेडीज दे रहे हैं, तो वो आपको असर करेगा। वहां आप अभी आपको मालूम नहीं पड़ेगा, लेकिन जब व्यक्ति का बुरा समय आता है तो वो सारे कर्म उसके सामने आ जाते हैं। लेकिन ऐसे यदि व्यक्ति प्रोटेक्शन के साथ जाता है, प्रोटेक्शन से करता है, और साथ ही यदि व्यक्ति हम्बल होके करता है, तो उसको उतना कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। लग्न में बुध यदि वक्री हो तो अच्छा फल देता है। देखिए, क्योंकि लग्न में यदि बुध वक्री है तो वो दिग्बली भी है और चेष्टा बली भी है। लेकिन अगेन डिपेंड करेगा, यदि थर्ड लॉर्ड है और एट्थ लॉर्ड है, ठीक है, तो वो क्या फल देगा? वो स्ट्रांग है, वो अपने भाव का ही फल देगा, तो वो व्यक्ति के को रेकरिंग डिजीज दे सकता है, और मर्क्यूरी पूरे लंबे समय तक देता है, वो व्यक्ति को नर्वस डिसऑर्डर्स दे सकता है। यही यदि वो बुध लग्न पे सेकेंड एंड फिफ्थ लॉर्ड होके वक्री बैठा हुआ है, तो वो बहुत अच्छे रिजल्ट्स देगा। या लग्न पे, हाँ, यदि लग्न पे एट्थ एंड इलेवेंथ लॉर्ड होके बैठा हुआ है, तो इनहेरिटेंस बहुत अच्छा दे देगा, और रेगुलर इनकम, उसके मल्टीपल सोर्सेज ऑफ रेगुलर इनकम आएंगे। अमन जी प्लीज, आपने क्यों लिखा? पंचम बाबा केतु और शुक्र, सिंह लग्न में पंचम भाव में केतु और शुक्र। तो देर आर प्रॉब्लम्स विथ चिल्ड्रन भी हो सकते हैं, एंड देर कैन बी प्रॉब्लम्स इन लव लाइफ. सचिन कुमार नायक, लग्न में शनि एग्जॉल्टेड बट नवांश में डेबिलिटेटेड, तो वो बहुत अच्छे फल नहीं देते, क्योंकि उत्तर कलामृत, फल दीपिका, जातक परिजात यही बोलता है कि नवामसा इज द फ्रूट ऑफ द ट्री कॉल्ड द D1 चार्ट. ठीक है, राशि चार्ट का फ्रूट है. तो वो बोल, तो यदि कोई भी ग्रह नवांश में D1 में एग्जॉल्टेड है लेकिन नवांश में नहीं है, तो व्यक्ति को शुरुआत में उसके फल अच्छे मिल सकते हैं, लेकिन बाद में जाके वो फल शायद अच्छे न मिले. शुभम जी, you can write your question again. I did not see your question. Shubham ji, write in your question for me to see it. Six. जुपिटर इन असेंडेंट फॉर स्कॉर्पियो लग्न, वेरी गुड. वो यदि वो वर्गोत्तम है तो वो अनुराधा नक्षत्र के चतुर्थ चरण में बैठा हुआ है वहां पर. अनुराधा नक्षत्र के हाँ, यदि आप परेशान है तो वो देगा परेशानी, क्योंकि वो केतु के साथ बैठा हुआ है. कहीं थोड़ा सा आप आगे बढ़ेंगे अमन जी और वो पीछे आ जाएंगे. ओके, सो सौरभ प्रधान जी, जुपिटर यदि आपका वर्गोत्तम है असेंडेंट में, स्कॉर्पियो असेंडेंट में, तो वो अनुराधा नक्षत्र के चतुर्थ चरण में बैठा हुआ है. तो ऐसे व्यक्ति जो है वो अपने बोलचाल के द्वारा, अपने नॉलेज के साथ ऐसे लोगों में बहुत अच्छा रेपुटेशन क्रिएट करते हैं. वो बहुत बुद्धिमान होते हैं, क्योंकि फिफ्थ लॉर्ड है, फिफ्थ हाउस को देख रहा है. ठीक है, तो वो पैसा भी देता है, क्योंकि वो सेकंड लॉर्ड है. वो सेल्फ मेड पीपल होते हैं. स्पैमिंग आपने बहुत करी है शिवप्रिया जी. नवांश में 5 ग्रह, स्वर्ण नवांश में, मकर में, बुध में, मेष, मेरे को तो एक समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है. It has to be very systematically लिखिए. I will definitely answer. Scorpio ascendant Ketu in second house. Yeah, takes you away from your family for learning, for research, for higher education. Mercury exalted in 6th house in D1, debilitated in 11th house. Okay, so in the D9. So for you, it's very good for your job, Vandana Gupta ji. And in personal relationships, you will keep quiet. But job में भी जितना आपको expectation है, उतना नहीं मिलेगा. Habibi, I do not know what your time is, because that has to be done, and everybody has their own methods of doing VTR. For me, I follow a different method through Tithi Pravesh. So, yep. Yes, this is one question that should be answered. Okay. Okay. This is one question that should be answered. Ki Vakri, Saturn, Vakri and Vargottam in D9 in Pisces. Saturn cannot be okay, Vakri and Vargottam in D9 in Pisces, Capricorn, and Saturn in Pisces. Will Saturn be exchange takes place between Jupiter in Capricorn and Saturn in Pisces? Will Saturn be considered Vargottami? Saturn is already Vakri and Vargottam in Pisces. So a person is, that Saturn is considered strong. Lovely Lord in 6th house, in 11th house in own sign. Lagna Kundali is Lord of 6th house. Lagna Kundali is Lord of 6th house, in 11th house in own sign. Significations for me, it is Mars. Fact channel, you need to write the question properly. Why Jupiter with Mercury in ninth house in Libra? Okay, Saturn first house. आप अपनी दशा भी देखिए, सन मार्स वीनस राहु इन 10th हाउस, देयर आर 4 planets in the 10th house, and sun and Mars with Rahu, and the 10th house for you happens to be Kumbh Lagna, is happens to be your Virgo sign. So frustration, irritation, and a lot of anger is building up, because that is not an open anger sign. You must see. Do you consider Parivartana yoga between 6th and 7th lord as good, being 9th and 10th from 10th house? I do not know, but as per Uttar Kalamrit on its chapter in Yoga Parivartana, it says that 6th and 7th lord is called Parivartana between 6th and 7th lord is considered to be Daridra Yoga. So I'll leave it at that. That's what we understand from Uttar Kalamrit. Ketu in second house, okay. Uh, just look at the dasha there. Just look at the dasha there, Ravi Nanduji. What is playing? Is it Mars dasha going on? And what is it that you're doing in regard for your work? Mercury exalted in sixth house in D1, debilitated in 11th house in D9. If it is like I told this. If two enemy planets like Mercury and Jupiter, being the owner of all the kendras, in case, क्या उनके केंद्र में राशि परिवर्तन अच्छा कंसिडर किया जाएगा या एडवर्स? ठीक है, चलिए राशि परिवर्तन पे ये बात कर लेते हैं। तो यदि आपका घर लुधियाना में है और मेरा घर हैदराबाद में है, तो यदि आपको किसी काम से हैदराबाद कुछ साल के लिए ट्रांसफर होता है, मुझे लुधियाना, और हम डिसाइड करते हैं कि एक दूसरे के घर में रहेंगे, तो क्या आप मेरे घर को खराब करेंगे? नहीं करेंगे। क्यों? क्योंकि आपको मालूम है कि यदि आपने मेरे घर को खराब किया, तो मैं भी आपके घर को खराब करने की क्षमता रखती हूँ। तो परिवर्तन यदि किसी भी दो भी और खासकर यदि ये केंद्र के स्वामी है और इनमें परिवर्तन हुआ है, तो ये अपने घरों को, दूसरों के घरों को ऐसे रखते हैं जैसे वो खुद अपने घर में रह रहे हैं। इसमें कोई खराब नहीं है। Ashley. So, okay, English. So, when there are two houses, say I live in Hyderabad and there's somebody else living in Ludhiana, and for some time I have to go and live in Ludhiana, and the person has to come to Hyderabad, and we've decided to live in each other's houses. Okay, so the person will not spoil my house, knowing that I have the full liberty and the full authority to do what I want to do with his house, if he so much so as removes anything. So he'll take care of my house, knowing that I will equally take care of his house. So this is good. This is good. This Parivartana is good. It's not enemies. They don't very. Jupiter does not like the cleverness of Mercury. That's it. Okay. Bhav Vargotam planet in 8th house, Shukra, Scorpio, Lagna, and Makar Navamsh. Do not understand. Yeah, so you need to Shubham, you need to then, if you are understanding that Sade Sati, see, let's not say that Sade Sati is the way and all and end all. Sade Sati can give you mental strain. I agree to that. And Ketu Mahadasha can move you into different directions. Uh, if you're understanding that there's too much of laziness, that means you can work on it. Understanding of the thing is the first step to doing it. Lagna Lord Aquarius in 12th. Separation, no, it's not. It could also mean that the person could also go towards, in the as a couple, the person can go towards adhyatma or spirituality. Sai Prasanna, retrograde Saturn in 6th house and Vargottam in for Leo ascendant. Is it good or bad for married life? It'll create it'll create distances, and it will create detachment in married life. Dagda Rashi is good in sixth house. Ma'am, in D9, Jupiter in Capricorn and Saturn in Pisces. I in D9, Jupiter in Capricorn and Saturn. Will Jupiter be considered as Jupiter as Swagrahi? Jupiter will not give bad results, that's for sure. Everything needs to, when you're doing a birth time rectification, you need to consider a lot of things, Habibi. But but for using Lagna and planets, there are a lot of things that you need to see in divisional charts. Lagna is important, obviously. Planetary position is important because it's the planet which is going to modify the result. When one planet is combust, then the combust planet does not give its results. I've made 2 or 3 videos on combustion. Do watch them, they're very significant. You will also see combustion in divisional charts, at least up to D 10. D10, the combustion is very strong, because then the planets are very close to each other. So if there is a combustion, it will follow through in the divisional charts, and it will spoil the effects in the divisional charts also. I've very well seen it and shown it through the um, in the example in my chart. We're moving close to this session. So Mars in Vatsa tutorials, I have also put in Mars in 12th house. You can see it then. Bhav Vargotam Shukra in 8th house. So it can make a person bhogi, and it can also make a person yogi, depending on the sign that falls in the Bhav Vargottama. Divinesh, I have to be studies as Lagna chart. Okay, Habibi, a good question. I have come across a very good question. This I have to be studied as Lagna charts or different, ma'am. Divisional charts cannot be separated from the Lagna chart. The Lagna chart is the main chart. It is your house. The divisional charts are different sections of the house. So you cannot go directly into one section of the house before going and looking into the house itself. So the divisional chart, the first you need to move into the main house, that is the D1, and then you can go into the divisional charts. Okay, that's important. Chalit Kundli is something that I don't see, Gopal GK, so I do not know much about it. No, moon is by if sun is in 3 degrees and moon is in 19 degrees in the same house, is moon combust? No, moon is not combust, because moon has crossed 1.5 tithis in every tithi, that is 12 degrees. Actually moon is still under a lot of pressure, because as per what Uttar Kalamrit says, that if moon is within 60 degrees of the sun, then the person takes up unnecessary tensions and stuff like that. But here, when moon has crossed, okay, when moon has crossed 19 degrees, it means that 12 degrees plus it has crossed. 16, 12, 15. So it's the second tithi has already started. The Dvitiya tithi has started. So it is, moon is not combust. Moon is combust only when it is within 12 degrees of sun, and then it is known as Amavasya. Divisional charts are very important. From divisional charts, you have to, what are divisional charts? Divisional charts are the charts that pertain to certain area of life. Like D2 pertains to the hora, or our food habits, our studying habits. It is mainly important to see our money quotient also, but our food habits and our study habits can also be seen from there. As opposed to the D10, which talks about our career. D24 talks about our studies, our education. So it's not about the strength of the planet. D3 is about siblings and your courage activities. It is about your past life that can be seen. It is also about understanding your intricate nature. So you study the divisional charts in whole to understand that aspect of life, not the strength of planets. 5 planets in Gandamul Nakshatra. Lots to be understood. Dr. Gaurav Singhal, your question is not right. Moon chart or D1 chart for Mahadasha results. What do you mean by that? Jay Maitri. D60 can be rectified? Yes, obviously, by birth time rectification. The D10, the Lord, okay, so we are going off air in 5 minutes. In D10, the 10th Lord, Mercury, is in Lagna in Virgo. Okay, okay, so it's a Virgo Lagna aspected by 8 Drishti of Mars. So a person is very good in accounts. The person is very has a very quick brain, very sharp brain, but at the same time, yeah, but at the same time can create problems for his or herself, because can act a little smart in that direction and create problems. Geometry, it cannot be done right here. I mean, it takes time. Not that I have a problem. Sun is in sixth house in the Navamsha, so it's a Saturn from the. What is the impact? So it's kind of a cancellation in the D9, where Sun is debilitated in the D9, aspected by a debilitated Saturn. But it's a Vipreet Rajyog also, which is being created here. And but there will be problems in the marriage. There will be separation. There will be lots of misunderstandings, bossiness that can create problems. Okay, and that will but it can be reversed if a person works on that. D9 can be studied for a lot of areas of life, including adhyatma or spirituality, not just marriage. Effect of ascendant nakshatra versus Janma nakshatra. Saurabh Pradhanji, you're coming up with good questions. I'll stay for another 5 minutes and answer this. See, effect of ascendant nakshatra. We have made videos on ascendant nakshatras, and Janma nakshatra is your mental tendency that you're born with. And the Janma nakshatra sets a pattern as to how things will unravel, because it talks about the dasha. When you are looking at the Vimshotri dasha, the Yogini dasha, the Ashtotri dasha, any dasha, when you are looking at from the Janma nakshatra. So the Janma nakshatra is important because it gives us a sequel of how things are going to come. Okay, and it also talks about the mind frame of a person born. But the Lagna nakshatra is the reason, it's the reason your body has been here. Okay, because the Lagna is the sign rising in the east. So Lagna nakshatra is the nakshatra rising in the east at the time of a birth. It connects your birth to this planet. So how do you work? What are the things that you should do to complete a part of your karma, is what the effect of the ascendant nakshatra is. Both are important. If you have a good mind frame, and as one of the authors said, that if the Lagna, the moon and the sun are tandem with 159 or together, like as it was in the case of Swami Ramakrishna Paramhans, his sun, moon and Lagna are in the same place, then in that case life flows very smoothly, because you are tuned, your body is tuned with what you have done, what you should do, and what is coming forward. So it's a complete synergy out there. Okay, so in B1 chart, lots of sixth house. When does new Mahadasha start giving results? Okay, Shubham. So the new Mahadasha starts giving results 6 months before the advent. But please remember that what you have done in the past will also reflect in the future. So you should continue doing some good work there. What if younger child is born in Jeshta Nakshatra? Is it harmful to the older sibling? By story, it can be. I do not know how much it holds true. So Mars and Saturn in Aquarius in 10th house will do a good, fine job. A person should do a fine job staying abroad. Okay. Is Pratyantar Dasha and Sukshma Dasha? Pratyantar is very important. Sukshma is a small period of time, but Pratyantar is important because Andar and Pratyantar are the ones that will finally declare the results for one person. Okay. Purva Falguni Nakshatra is good for wealth. Vivasvat, Navmesh Lagna Drishti, but Namesh is in 8th. Not understood the question, sir. When a D60 chart analysis, ma'am. Yes, when you come to me, I will definitely do that analysis. Uh, okay. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this session. We wind up and we'll hold another session pretty soon. Thank you for being a part of it. Have a good day. Bye.